So we're getting ready to run the power wire for the DC to DC charger. This is 6 gauge AWG copper wire, a 6 by 5/16 terminal lug, and the heat shrink. So we'll put this together first and then we'll go run the wire in the van. Trimmed back enough of the cable for it to fit into here. Don't forget to put your heat shrink over the wire first, otherwise it's kind of hard to get on there sometimes. Then this, make sure you get all the strands and push it down in there really good, like that. That way it's very far and deep into the lug. Then you need to use a crimping tool. There's all kinds of different versions of these. Which I'm going to put over the leg here so that it's not going to bounce as much. Get that all lined up. And then it does that. So that crimps the wire in. You always want to give it a tug, make sure it's not going anywhere. Okay, so there's our shrink wrap on our wire. Now we got to go take a couple panels loose in the van so that we can run this wire. So under these, there's more screws. So you gotta get your screwdriver in here and pop these up. And then if you look down in there, there's another screw. There we go. Okay, so our red cable for the DC to DC charger will connect to the battery under this cover once we're ready for it. For now, we're going to run it right under here. It'll come out here, along under here, and then go underneath this plastic piece. It'll come out back here, and then it'll run underneath along the wall all the way back to where the batteries are going to go. Underneath here, and it'll come through here, and we'll go underneath this wire loom, under the floor. There we go. So what I want to do is leave enough slack in here because it's going to come around and hook to a bolt up under here. In the meantime, so it doesn't hit anything, we're just going to put it right down in there. And then on this side, it comes out of here, and there was already some clips here so we could follow right along, clip it in there, and then it goes up underneath and over to the battery. So we're going to run this wire down through this open chase here, but whenever you're running wire by metal that's been stamped or cut, you want to protect the edge so it doesn't wear the wire. So this stuff goes around the edge of the metal and protects it so the wire rubbing won't wear a hole in it.
Okay.
So the fun part, I'm going to need your help here probably. Fun part is kind of feeding it through. sure that it gets on there good and tight, because then it'll kind of clip on.
I don't see nothing.
There we go. There we go. So now that protects the wire. We're going to feed the solar wires through here so we can work on insulating and stuff inside. We need to get this wiring in the walls first. So the one thing, remember when you run through the solar gland, take these little nuts off because you'll need those. Thread them onto the wire before you start getting the ends in here because you can't fit them over these connectors on the other end. So we just want to feed these down through.
So we ran the solar wires down to where the solar charge controller is going to be located with the rest of the electrical equipment. After that, we worked on a little bit of the insulation. We don't want to put too much of it up yet. We have a lot of wiring that needs run and some plumbing before we finish the rest of the insulation up. We're using Thinsulate from 3M in order to insulate the van over the top of the kill mat.
So this is the shore power outlet. So this gets installed in the side of the van. So if you have an opportunity to hook into shore power anywhere, you can plug in to charge batteries or run electronics. So we have to make a hole in the side of the van. We have a carbide metal cutting drill bit that's 2 7/8, which is what the directions for this recommended. One of the things that we've noticed is some folks make a mistake putting this in. The way this is designed to be put in is you run the wires through here to clamp them, connect green, white, and black here, ground, neutral, line, and then this gets put together before it gets put into the hole. We've seen some folks that put this in and then try and put this cover in from the back. That doesn't seal correctly. So I always want to make sure you put it all together here first before you put it in the hole. Just like that. And then we'll attach it to the outside of the van with these sheet metal screws. And we'll be good to go.
What size are these?
These are 8 by 1 1/4 sheet metal screws. And the wire we're using for this is 10 gauge stranded wire. We always use stranded in anything that's going to move around like a van. Solid wires tend to break, so we always use stranded wire. I want to strip off enough that I can go through here and get into there.
How do you know when it's done?
Yeah, just got to kind of experiment so that you don't go too far, because you don't want to cut through it too far, because you don't want to cut into the other wires. So you just put a little bit of a light pressure on it till you see that paper like that, and then it starts to go through. And spot that's being stubborn.
So the paper protects the cut.
Yeah, it'll help. It separates the wires in there from heat, and then it also helps protect them. So once you get that stripped back, then you take these wires out, or the cardboard out. Just making sure that those are all opened up, because these will clamp down on the wire. Yeah, make sure that we're open to start with, so it goes in there all the way. Okay, so
Are they open or no?
yes,
Oh.
so these are all open up and ready to go, and we use our little wire stripper here. This is a lot easier on
Oh, wow.
cutting these wires.
Wow.
And we got a lot of wires to do, which is why I wanted that. And I want to make sure that these are going to go in properly. Yep. Just making sure I had the right amount stripped off, because you don't want any of this insulation in where it tries to clamp the wire,
Oh, okay.
because then it won't make good contact.
So you have enough?
All right. Nope, we're good. So we flatten these out a little bit, and they come through here. Now we attach them to here. So this little dude goes in there. And once you know it's in all the way, you just tighten up the screw. So they're color coded on the back of the outlet. So white wire, white hole, black wire, black hole, green wire, green hole. It's not loose enough. So we're going to loosen it up some more. There we go. Now it went in there. Now those are all in there nice and snug. Now this is the top, so we want the wire clamp at the bottom. Pull that up into here so it's up tight. Just like that. And then put our wire holder back on. It's a good idea to start them both before tightening anything down. So that plastic will keep any tension that gets on these wires from pulling them out of the plug. That's what that's for.
Okay.
So now that this is all put together, time to go mark our hole and drill a hole in the van.
Okay, let's go. Okay.
Okay, so we want the outlet back here where our electrical is going to go. And we want to put it as low as we can, but not where there's bumps in the metal. So we want it to go right in here so that it'll seal flat on the outside of the van. So the way we do that, you can see these clips are what holds the plastic trim on the outside. And you have this ridge as a reference and this line for the trim on the wheel well.
Okay.
So that gives you reference points. So we can come over here. Here's the trim, the wheel well, and the ridge. So where we want it is right here. but we want to center it in this flat spot because it's going to be a pretty snug fit. So in order to do that, this is 4.5 inches to where this line is. Okay, so 4.5 divided by 2 is 2 1/4, which means the center of our hole needs to be 2 1/4. Okay.
Yes, I see it.
So now we go get our drill and we make a hole. So we covered the area we're going to drill with plastic. That's to keep any little metal shavings from getting in places we don't want them and causing rust. And then on the outside I put a piece of tape over this crack in the trim for the same reason. That piece out from the inside. I'm gonna leave these bottom ones because we got to drill pilot holes for the screws.
Oh, there is some
Stuck to the tape?
Yeah. No, it's not stuck to the tape. It's on the bottom right there. Just be careful.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, let me clean that up.
So like all the rest of the holes that we've cut, you want to use, wherever you have bare metal, you want to get some Rust-Oleum here.
Show it.
Okay, Rust-Oleum. And cover this bare metal so that you don't get rust. We don't want to leave any place for rust to start. Because our goal is to spend a lot of time around beaches, which means salt water, which means we don't want any opportunity for rust. And we'll make sure that's all in there good. We'll give that a minute or two to dry. We're gonna feed this through here and then drill the pilot holes for the screws that are gonna hold it in.
And you need to hold it over there?
You need to hold it here
Oh, here.
so it doesn't move around on us. Now make sure I've got it straight. It's all lined up with the tape. Looks good. So we just gotta hold it in there nice and snug. And I just gotta make 4 little pilot holes for these screws. Here so I can there we go. I wanted to get that one. Do the opposite corner. Make sure that looks pretty straight. There we go. So get those two. The other two should be right there.
Good.
But you don't want to over tighten them because you'll strip out the sheet metal. Okay, so we got the shore power plug installed. We've just got the wire coiled up here right now, so it's ready. Once we get this all insulated and paneled and the rest of the rough-in wiring done, then that'll hook to the inverter charger.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.